Episode 3. Echoes of the Unknown. The early morning sun spills into Nia's bedroom, painting the walls a warm gold. Her phone vibrates insistently on the nightstand. She grudgingly reaches for it and squints at the screen. Text from Maya. Studio receptionist. Someone left a letter for you again. This time, it came with flowers and the card mentioned your dad. Nia sits up instantly, her heart dropping into her stomach. Dad? It had been years since she last visited his grave. Years since she tried to pack away the tangled web of love and hurt tied to him. Without hesitation, she throws on a sweater, grabs her car keys, and speeds toward the old cemetery on the city's outskirts. The cemetery is eerily quiet, the air crisp with morning dew. Rows of gravestones stretch out before her, a silent congregation of the past. Nia finds her father's grave easily, her feet remembering the way, even if her heart resists. There, resting against the weathered headstone, is a delicate bouquet of white lily. A small card flutters against the stems by a silver pin. With trembling fingers, Nia plucks the card free and reads. Note. He taught you silence. You turned it into strength. I've watched you carry pain with poetry. Your heart remembers, even when you try to forget. The handwriting is unmistakable, the same slanted, careful script from the previous anonymous letters. Nia swallows hard. Who knows this? Very few people understood the true complexity of her bond with her father. How he adored her but also kept secrets. Loctite behind kind smiles. Tears prick at the corners of her eyes. This wasn't fandom. This was someone who knew. Someone who had seen her pain and understood it better than she dared admit. Across the city, in the sleek corridors of a private clinic, Zane waits outside a consultation room, bouncing his leg nervously. He had been called urgently, no details, just a request for a top-tier heart surgeon. The door opens and Zane's heart stops. Seated inside, looking frail but still imposing, is Chief Ezekiel Okoji, his estranged father, the man who abandoned him, the man who carved Zane's wounds deeper than any scalpel ever could. Zane's fists clench at his sides as he steps into the room. Chief Okoji, smiling weakly. Zane, my son. Thank you for coming. Zane's voice cuts like steel. Zane, I didn't come for you. I came for a patient. Chief Okoji coughs roughly into a handkerchief, the sound rattling in his chest. Chief Okoji, I'm dying, Zane, and I need to make things right. Zane's eyes blaze. Zane, low and furious. You left us to rot in silence. You left a boy to bury his mother alone. And now you want to rewrite your legacy with apologies. The chief tries to reach for his son, but Zane recoils. Without another word, Zane storms out, the door slamming behind him. The corridors stretch endlessly before him, cold and indifferent. But a crack has formed inside him, a fissure that won't be sealed so easily. And as he drives away, a nagging feeling grows that his family's pain may be entangled with forces much bigger than he ever realized. For the first time, he wonders if Nia's past and his own might be dangerously linked. Back at home, Lade, ever the social butterfly, throws a small impromptu gathering at their house. Candles flicker in the living room. Soft music hums in the background. Among the guests is Adamide, whose easy laughter and artistic charm immediately draws Lade's attention. Their banter is light, flirtatious, and sprinkled with coy glances. But every so often, Adamide's gaze drifts to a framed photo of Nia hanging in the hallway, a tiny flicker of something unreadable passing through his eyes. Meanwhile, Mama Ajoke, weak and feverish from her recent hospital trip, mutters fitfully in her sleep. Mama Ajoke whispering, Tell her, her name wasn't always Nia. From the hallway, Nia overhears but dismisses it as fevered dreams. After all, her name had always been her own, hadn't it? Later that night at the radio station, the soft glow of the studio wraps around Nia, like a comforting blanket as she leans into the microphone. Her heart is heavier tonight, her words slower, deeper. Nia, on air, voice trembling slightly. What do you do when the echo in your heart whispers a name you've never known? You listen, carefully, because maybe that voice is yours. Across the city, in a darkened apartment, Zayn sits on his couch, one hand over his heart. His eyes glisten with unshed tears. Nia's voice seeps into the cracks of his broken places, not demanding to fix him, but simply being there, holding the space for his pain. And for the first time in years, Zayn lets himself hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, healing isn't a myth. Episode 4. Names that don't belong. The night air inside the house is thick with unease. Shadows dance along the hallway as Nia stands frozen outside Mama Ajoke's room, replaying the words she overheard just minutes ago. Her name wasn't always Nia. The whisper had been frail, almost lost to the whir of the ceiling fan. But Nia heard it, clear as a bell. And now, her heart races, a steady drum of fear and confusion. Carefully, she pushes open the door and steps inside. Mama Ajoke lies curled up under the thin hospital blanket they brought home, her breathing shallow but steady. Nia sinks down beside her, her voice barely a murmur. Nia. Mama. You said something. You said my name wasn't always mine. What did you mean? For a long moment, Mama Ajoke doesn't respond. Then, slowly, her eyelids flutter open, revealing a glassy, faraway look. Mama Ajoke, whispering, You don't remember, do you? Before Nia can press further, a wave of exhaustion overtakes Mama Ajoke. Her head lolls to the side, her body slipping back into unconsciousness. Doctor's verdict. It's temporary. She needs rest. But to Nia, the words sound like a countdown, a race against time to uncover truths buried under years of silence. In the early hours of the morning, Nia pulls out worn, dust-covered photo albums from the living room cabinet. Her fingers tremble as she flips through brittle pages. Most of the photos are missing. The few that remain show Nia at age 5 or older, never younger. There are no baby pictures, no messy first birthday photos, no tiny footprints framed in gold, only blank spaces where memories should have been. She clutches the albums to her chest, a hollow ache growing inside her. From the doorway, Lade leans against the frame, arms crossed. Late, lightly. You're overthinking it. Not everything has to mean something, Nia. But there's a tightness around Lade's eyes that betrays her words. A warning, don't dig. But Nia can no longer ignore the tug in her soul, the whisper in her blood that something wasn't right. Meanwhile, Zayn stands stiffly in a dimly lit office across town. The walls are lined with thick books and thicker secrets. Across from him sits a weary old man, the family's former lawyer, Mr. Durojai, who smells faintly of mothballs and regret. Zayn leans forward, voice low and insistent. Zayn, tell me everything my father buried. No more games. The lawyer hesitates, his fingers drumming nervously against the leather desk. Durojai, years ago, your father paid hush money. A woman. There was a scandal. We buried it deep. He slides a dusty file across the table, stamped on it in faded ink. A.T. Daramola, confidential. Zayn's pulse quickens as he flips it open. Inside is a single photograph. A young woman with luminous eyes, full lips, hauntingly familiar. She's cradling a baby girl in her arms, the resemblance unmistakable. Zayn's breath catches in his throat. Zayn, whispering. Nia? The world tilts on its axis. Back at home, Lade finds herself laughing easily with Adamide, their flirtation growing sweeter by the day. But later that night, curiosity gets the better of her. When Adamide steps away, she peeks into his open sketchbook on the coffee table. Her smile fades. Page after page is filled with drawings of Nia. Nia laughing, crying, lost in thought, captured with aching tenderness. Beneath the sketches, snippets of poetry swirl. She carries worlds in her silence. A heart that remembers what her mind forgets. A sharp sting of betrayal blossoms in Lade's chest. She slams the sketchbook shut, a forced smile pasted on her face when Adamide returns. Later that afternoon, Adamide, unable to shake a feeling of unease, visits Mama a joke to check in on her. As he sits by her side, Mama stirs. In her fevered state, she mumbles again. Mama a joke, murmuring, Adisua, forgive me. Adamide stiffens. Adisua? He makes a mental note, because he knows Nia has never gone by that name. Something is unraveling. Something big. Night falls. At the radio station, Nia sits alone, her fingers trailing absent-mindedly over the console as she prepares for the late shift. The city lights flicker beyond the glass windows, distant and cold. A knock startles. She looks up and sees Zayn, standing on the other side of the glass door, clutching something tightly in his hand. Wordlessly, she lets him in. His face is grave, his movements careful as he approaches. Without speaking, he holds out the photograph. Nia's eyes widen as she takes it. Her hands tremble. Her heart pounds. The woman in the photo, so achingly familiar, smiles up at her. Nia, voice breaking. That's my mother, but I've never seen this photo in my life. Zayn steps closer, his voice thick with emotion. Zayn. She went by another name. Adisua. He pauses, searching her eyes. Zayn, softly. And I think you did too. The weight of the truth hangs between them, heavy and terrifying. Somewhere deep inside her, a door creaks open. And Nia realizes she's been standing at the edge of a life she never knew existed. Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for episode 5.